Hello, my name is Howard Freed. I live at 14932 Wynwood Road. Thank you for hearing me tonight. I've heard the history on this church over and over, and the history doesn't always seem to be recited the same way. I'm not going to speak on a bunch of issues you've already heard, but I want to speak about the history. I was told the original church was built by former slaves on land they purchased from the former enslavers along the banks of the White Rock Creek, and also a cemetery was built there as well. That was back in the late 1800s, and because the creek rises when we have flash flooding, the church that was built flooded. I'm not sure how many times, but I've lived on Wynwood for 24 years, and I've seen it happen 5 times in 24 years. So the church moved to its current location, and I believe the landowner at the time allowed them to build a church there around 1911 or 1918. In 1958, a deed was issued from a member of the Knoll family, Ed Knoll, who deeded the property to the Christian Chapel Church, and only that church. And that deed said that land could never be sold or conveyed to anyone for any reason. And that if that church ever left, that specific church, the land would revert back to the Knoll family, to the grantor. I don't know what happened to that restriction. The church changed hands. It became the White Rock Non-Denominational Church. I don't know when. There's a sign on the property now that says it was founded in 1884. Since I lived there, the church that occupied that property, the group, as I understand a church is a group of people, not a building. That group of people was an African American group. It was very small, 10 or 12 people like you've heard. They weren't concerned with the rich cultural history of the roots. It was just an African American church in our neighborhood. We embraced it. No one had a problem with it. What's being presented now is scaring us. We don't know what's going to come of this. We're living in a neighborhood that we love. It's peaceful. It's quiet. We have 2 ways in and out. You've heard that over and over. We don't want any more traffic. And I don't believe that this plan to maintain or whatever this rich cultural heritage, it was lost decades ago. 200 people live in this neighborhood. We built and bought our homes based on the current zoning, and we're protected by that, and I would urge you to vote this down. This is not what we want in our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Freed.